It's an empty space that stands beside me now. Am I looking for someone that I just can't?
The bedroom, it is often the lowest of the low on priorities of decorating, but you know, it really shouldn't be that way. It needs to be inviting, it needs to be warm and relaxing. So if yours isn't quite like that, well, let's make it that way. This bedroom, well, it's a pretty typical example of a space crying out for a makeover. But you know, the basics are all here, so that's why the owners have never really done anything about it. What's good about this space is it's big. We've got plenty of room to work. And look at the ceilings. They are just so beautiful. There's so much detail in there, but you really can't see it because the space is so bland. The window seat is an asset in this room. And really, your eye doesn't get drawn over there because there's nothing to draw you in. So what I want to do is I want to change all of that. I want to make this warm and cozy and give it style. I reckon if we strip it out, we can get to work and make it look stunning.
I left my heart in the middle of the road, and guess what? Somebody
Mind the chandelier, boys. I'm honestly helping.
State of affairs had me stressed, and you were the best I found.
This is actually the exciting part of the process because you can think about the layout of the room. Is it actually working for you? And by moving things around, will it make a big difference? Well, I think in here it will. The wardrobe, as good as it is, it's actually in the wrong spot. And I'll show you because as you come in the door, you can see what happens. It's actually a block and it closes in the space. So by moving it over to this wall, we can have a bigger wardrobe and it gets hidden away behind the door. Paint choice is so hard for so many people, but what I say is when you're thinking about the space, just try and imagine how you want to feel when you're in that space. Now, I suggest in bedrooms you go for a classic neutral colour. Generally, neutrals are a whole spectrum of colours from white all the way up to almost black, so you really do have a wide field to choose from. Bedrooms these days are getting darker, and the good thing is beds take up so much real estate, you can brighten it with the bedding and all of the cushions, and with the walls, if they're dark and moody, they just kind of sink away and just wrap around you. So in here, we're starting with a beautiful grey carpet that's going to be warm and soft underfoot, and for the walls, this lovely colour called grid. It's very deep and it's very dark, and you probably think, oh my gosh, it's going to be so dark. But trust me, they'll just kind of sink away really in a nice restful kind of way. So while we're talking about colour, I want to talk about the wardrobe doors because there's this great new product that allows you to actually tie them in with the walls so they almost disappear. So let's go and take a look at that. Most wardrobe systems you can buy these days have fairly limited options as far as the door colour is concerned. You kind of get what you get. But if you're up for it, you can build your own cupboards and actually create a custom look. So we're starting with kitchen pantries, which sounds a bit strange, but believe me, they work really well as wardrobes. And for the doors, you can buy off-the-shelf colours, or if you want that custom look, you can paint your own. These are raw MDF. I like the shadow panel, it's going to add a nice profile to the room. Now to completely make them disappear, we're painting them exactly the same colour as the walls, only the paint is slightly different. So we've started with an undercoat, they're sealed well, and with the top coat we're using an aqua enamel. It has a slightly higher sheen level, so you're not going to see all the fingerprints on it and it's going to give them more durability.
So fly like the northern lights, won't stop till the sunrise. You and I losing track of time, you and I gonna own the night.
The homeowners here, they never had a bed headboard before, so I'm going to make them a very simple one. But the hardest thing with that is what pattern or what fabric do you choose? So for a luxe hotel look, which is kind of what we're going for here, I've decided to choose velvet. Now the importance of getting a cutting and seeing what it looks like in situ, I think is really important. These are both velvets, they're both grey, but can you see the colour difference? This one, you probably can't see it at home, it actually has a slight green undertone, and I know immediately that that's just not going to work as well as this one. So this is my choice. It's a beautiful velvet, not expensive, fairly easy to work with, so let's go and get it on the bed head. It's To make your own upholstered bed head, you need to measure the width of your mattress. We've got a queen size bed, so this board here is our backing board and it's the full width and just a little bit higher. The height is really up to you. It's purely a style choice. We've gone quite high because again, we want to take the eyes right up to that beautiful ceiling. So it's a strong backing board of MDF. And then we've got some foam. You can have this cut to size. It's quite thick, so if you just put the fabric over the top, it's not bad, but these corners will actually give the game away that it's not a professional finish. The tip is to get some wadding and put that on top as well, and you can see that rounds those corners, and that makes it nice and smooth. It's a long way. The edges are nice and neat. I think that gives a nice plush look. But if you do want to go one step further and you're handy with tools, you might like to make a frame. This is just 2 pieces of pine which we've stained up. You can see, you can actually wrap it around and it gives it a very neat professional finish. It's kind of like that hotel luxe look. So I'm going to fix that on and see how we go. If you're lucky enough to be planning a brand new wardrobe, how exciting, because you have so many choices. You can make it exactly what you need it to be. Now, the whole reason that we went for kitchen pantries is basically because they're customizable, and they also have all of these great little inserts, things that will make your life a whole lot easier. Now, most people have a laundry hamper in the bedroom, somewhere where you stash all of your dirty clothes. Well, if you think about it carefully, look at this. You can actually make yourself a push hideaway laundry system. Now, these little baskets down here, great for your fruit and veggies if it were a kitchen, but even better for your boots and your sneakers. Because they've got that wire there, completely ventilated, so it's a really good idea for your shoes. With your hangers, it's a small detail, but if you go for flat hangers as opposed to these bulky ones, you'll actually get more clothes in there as well, so it's a space-saving solution. And any space left over, look at that, the perfect place for your bed sheets. You're always looking for those in the laundry cupboard or in the closet late at night, so having them right where you need them just really makes a lot of sense. So the next thing to do is hide this lot all away with those doors that we painted before, and by painting them the same colour as the walls, well, this cupboard will be pretty much invisible.
I keep all my people dear close to me. Penny and the menu, your best family.
Doesn't the bed head look great now it's in position? It really does give the bed some balance and scale. Now, moving the bed from that wall over to here has certainly made a huge difference to the room, but it also means that the bed is the first thing you see as you walk through the door. So you want it to be well made every day, but not become a chore. And in terms of colour, well, I tend to go for neutrals. I don't go for heavy patterns because you can always put patterns and colour into your scatter pillows. So first up, what I do is I create the whole canvas, if you like. Then what I do, I peel it back to about 1/3 of the way down the bed. Now that gives you enough room here to set up your pillows. Euro pillows are great to lean against. They're the big ones. They're about 600 square. Here you go, Josh, one for your side, one for mine. So again, I've gone for white because you can see against the bed head, this just punctuates the space, so it really draws you in. Next comes your bed pillows. You can choose to keep your bed pillows all the same colour, or this is where you can add just a little splash of colour. So we've got your sleeping pillow, if you like. So Josh, on your side, one of those. There you go. That is a well-made bed. Now, if you want to add a bit of colour, you can do it in a couple of ways. You can add it with scatter pillows, very controversial, I know, but you can also do it with a throw at the bottom of the bed. So we've chosen to go for velvet here, again, to pick up on the velvet in the bed head with a very similar colour. Now, let me show you about bed pillows, because there is no right way of doing this, but I've got 3 different looks for you. So starting with, if you're a minimalist, this is probably all you need to do for your bed. 2 oblong pillows like this are just the thing. They're a half tone of the grey. They sit quietly on the bed. They're there, just enough statement. But if you like something with a little bit more contrast, you might like to try a slightly bigger pillow. This darker grey complements the bedding so beautifully, and again, you could just leave it at that. But if you do want to add some colour, the world's your oyster, because grey is a fantastic backdrop colour. Ochre is just the thing to up the ante here. The power of colour. One small cushion adds such a dynamic touch to this bed. But if this look is just a little bit too formal for you and you want to go for something slightly more relaxed and romantic, powder pink velvet works so well with this colour scheme. And the other thing to note here is a little bit of round can go a very long way, but also some texture, again, working with our same grey palette. And if you just want to go for something a little bit more whimsical and add a bit of colour and maybe floral charm to the bed, it's a completely different look, but as you can see, it still works. So really, there are no rules when it comes to cushion arrangement. My tip would be just to keep a little piece in the home. Don't have too many. You can see 3 is just enough.
To say with all these anchors, they cannot bury me safe.
The room's done, it's complete. Let me show you around. Let's start with the windows. If you have a beautiful view, you want to see it, so Roman blinds are such a great idea. And all we've done is add a little decorative detail just with some grosgrain ribbon. Such a lovely statement above our new window seat. The cupboards, well, we painted them blue to blend in with the walls, and look at that, they're just stylish, they're elegant, they're quiet, and tons of storage, so good. Now, as for the old chandelier, it had to go, probably just a bit too blingy, so we've replaced it instead with a very standard drum pendant shade. But we've added one of these, it's called a diffuser. It just diffuses the light beautifully and you don't see the ugly bulbs. Now, as for the lighting on the walls, we went for sconces. Look at these, such a good idea if you don't have a lot of space to play with above your bedside tables. Now, down here for the bedsides, so the secret here is to go for a very slim tapered leg to open it up and make it feel slightly bigger than it actually is. Bit of a styling trick there. Now, over here, you probably would have expected me to have placed a mirror. You could do a mirror and make it like a dressing table situation, but I wanted the texture in here and the colour. So what we chose to do is hang this gorgeous artwork. It's an original piece. It's hand painted by a Sydney artist. I think it adds a lot of life to a room. And as for the drawers, well, a total luxe look. Can you believe that I actually made these myself? And you can too, from something completely unexpected. So if you watch next week's show, I'm going to teach you how to do this. All in all, I am thrilled with this bedroom. It might not be your perfect style, but I hope you've got some ideas along the way to make your bedroom the best it can be.